America at immigration breaking point, according to border official. The border crisis needs to be addressed. According to the Commissioner of the Customs and Border Protection, America's immigration system is at a breaking point, which is the globalist point, as illegal aliens flood across the border and the government releases them into America's cities and catch and release because there aren't enough jails, enough detention centers, and most of the judges are leftist. And then we blame Trump. He tried to get the funding. He circumvented them with an emergency. The first billion the Pentagon found is going in. This is the UN plan to break our border. Ladies and gentlemen, please perk those ears up because I've never seen a declaration like this. The Commissioner of ICE, the Border Patrol and Customs, has issued an SOS red alert. Now, Trump has tried to not spook the stock market and the economy, but he's tried to get an emergency wall for 2.5 years. He's tried to get increased funding. He's put the military down there. I'm getting chills. But the UN and Soros and others, just like they broke Europe, are breaking our borders and breaking our judicial system. And so they are freeing record numbers of people because there aren't jails, there aren't facilities. It's incredible. The diseases are pouring in. Up in New York, the state officials admit it's illegal aliens bringing in all the drug-resistant diseases that are causing epidemics. It's insane. And now, our own Jake Lloyd has a report on Infowars.com. America at immigration breaking point, according to border official. The border crisis needs to be addressed. According to the Commissioner of the Customs and Border Protection, America's immigration system is at a breaking point, which is the globalist point, as illegal aliens flood across the border and the government releases them into America's cities and catch and release because there aren't enough jails, enough detention centers, and most of the judges are leftist. And then we blame Trump. He tried to get the funding. He circumvented them with an emergency. The first billion the Pentagon found is going in. This is the UN plan to break our border. They have told the world, come here. That's why it's double the previous record under Obama. We are under assault. And they're using these poor people from collapsed socialist countries. I don't even blame most of them, but a lot of them have been caught smuggling children. They've been caught smuggling drugs. In fact, they have record numbers of drugs being seized at uncontrolled ports of entry. Record numbers. So ICE is busting record numbers of people coming across illegally. It's double the previous record coming in. It's over double the previous record apprehended, but there's nowhere to keep them. It's the record. You can pull it up. Just type in. Again, we're radio, but we're in TV, so I always forget our TV viewers see our crew pulling articles up. I should read these headlines to you and tell you where. But there's been record drugs grabbed, record numbers of kids kidnapped, grabbed. It's crazy. And it's the top priority for voters as well. You got a door on your house. They got basic checkpoints to get on a plane. But why is it not for the border? And now new caravans are on their way, and Trump is promising to shut down the whole border if he has to. And that's the way to do it. Put pressure on Mexico by shutting the whole border for a few weeks, and all our money, hundreds of billions a year that goes over, nothing against Mexico, but if they won't control their southern border anymore, if they let folks up, we have to put pressure on them. So that's the point we've reached. Mexico warns, mother of all caravans pushes north. U.S. projected to add 1.5 million illegal aliens this year. Trump threatens to shut border next week. Border Patrol begins releasing migrant families on streets. Warns that they're breaking the border. And if you break the border, that's a quote, you break the country. So yeah, Trump's good. Yeah, he's defeated the thing that he's a Russian agent. They've held us up for 2 years securing the country. The Federal Reserve has held up. We had a 4.6. Word was it was because it either explodes in growth, like China had 10% growth forever. The U.S. used to have it until the Federal Reserve came in 1913. You either have explosive 10% growth or you have negative. Things only work two ways. Everybody knows that in the world. Things don't just sit in stagnant stasis point. That's like a stagnant water. Things implode or they explode. Your relationship with your wife is either hot and heavy and awesome and everything's wonderful, or it's going in the wrong direction. Everybody knows that. It doesn't just sit in one robot. If you just think your wife and you aren't having sex for 5 years and you never hang out with her, she's got a boyfriend. It's either getting hotter or it's getting colder. And we were going to be at 7, 8, 9% by now. They sabotaged it, and they admit they did. Does that make you angry? Does that piss you off? And Trump inherited all this crap. He's doing a lot better job than I could do, I can tell you that. So anytime I get pissed, because I can imagine what I want him to do, I think about what it's actually like trying to do that, because I've got 4 kids, and I've got a wife, and I've got a bunch of employees, and they're great people. But, you know, it's hard to get folks working in one direction, especially when you've got the leftists and the globalists trying to sabotage everything. But this country is being broken. And the globalists had this plan set up to take the guns, to take the free speech, to break the borders, to bankrupt healthcare. They admit that's what Obamacare was for. And they're mad that Trump is trying to stabilize it. So we're in this weird position where we got the president, but they've still got control of a bunch of stuff, and it's just a mess. Let's go to the president. Trump slams the Democrats, who he again points out have been the ones actually bringing lawyers to the border to help the illegal aliens. I mean, that is just insane. Here it is.
Democrats want to pretend there is no border crisis for one simple reason, because they have caused the border crisis. And you know why else, honestly? Because they want votes and because they don't want to give us a win. They don't want to give us a win. They put that ahead of what's good for our country. The mass illegal immigration across our border is a direct consequence of Democrat-supported loopholes, Democrat promises of amnesty. Amnesty. You have people coming up, you know, they're all met by the lawyers and they come out, they're all met by the lawyers, and they say the following phrase: I am very afraid for my life. I am afraid for my life. Okay. And then I look at the guy. He looks like he just got out of the ring. He's the heavyweight champion of the world. He's afraid for it. It's a big, fat con job, folks. It's a big, fat con job. And Democrat sanctuary cities and their refusal to protect American borders, it's not the money. When I fought for them recently, they gave me so much money for everything else, but nothing for the wall. Now think of it. Walls work, folks. We need the wall. They said, would you call it slats? I said, I'll call it slats. Would you call it steel barriers? I said, I'll call it whatever the hell you want. Just give me the money to build it. And then they sort of got the little cold feet, and now I call it the wall, and I got the money anyway, so that's okay.
We're going to go to break and come back with more, but it's just epic what's happening. And if you don't have a border, you don't have a country. If you don't have walls around your house, you don't have a house. If you don't have cell membranes, you don't have a body. If plants don't have cell walls, they don't live. I mean, it's simple. And the globalists are making their run at this country, but at the last minute, this audience, you know that, right? I'm not just telling that to make you feel good. Like, you know, we're seen as the core resistance. They've got the analytics. They know. You put Trump in. You are the #1 enemy. That's why they want this show gone, so you just all get dispersed to the wind and just whoosh. It's critical for them to shut this down. Don't let them. Commit to the info war. Just please remember, if you want to keep hearing this show on air, pray for us. We're praying for you. And please don't forget store-wide free shipping. And the biggest sale ever, 50 to 60% off on all the supplements. But it's got to end. There's a bunch of things like the fish oil and even X2 and even X3 and bodies and the bone broth and Turbo Force and Brain Force and Super Silver Wound Gel are all very close to selling out. So those will be pulled soon. 50 to 60% off all the items. But InfoWarsStore.com. Let's make no mistake. We're not up here puffing our importance. We're just folks ready to resist these people. And of course, it's paying off. Folks want freedom. But we're in the center of a war now for a pro-human future or an anti-human future. But whatever you do, however you're listening, on satellite, on TV, on radio, at Infowars.com/show, tell other people about it. That's what breaks the back of big tech, is your human intelligence, your human action, your will, your word of mouth is unstoppable, and we salute you.